the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro versus the DJI Osmo Action 4 versus the GoPro Hero 13 Black versus the Insta360 Ace Pro. Which of these is the best action camera in 2024?
In this video, we're going to take a look at image and audio quality comparisons, plus highlight each camera's unique features, because, spoiler alert, there isn't a perfect action camera.
By the way, this video is not sponsored by any of the camera brands. Instead, it's supported by you guys, so if you find this video helpful, please consider using my affiliate links below to help support the channel. So the Action 5 Pro has a brand new sensor and processor compared to the Action 4, and the Hero 13 sensor and processor is unchanged from the Hero 12. So when shooting in 4K normal color, the Action 5 seems to have the most vibrant colors. Its lighting is also a lot more balanced compared to the Action 4 and the GoPro. Now all of these shots have kind of an HDR-like effect to them, and this is without HDR even applied. At times, this effect appears a bit heavy-handed and unnatural looking on the Action 5, and I wish there was a way to dial down the HDR effect in normal video mode. But speaking of HDR, the Action 4 is the only camera here without an HDR mode. But the Action 5 and the Hero 13 now have HLG, or Hybrid Log Gamma HDR, which is a better version of the standard HDR that the Ace Pro has. The Ace Pro also lacks 10-bit color and log color, while the other cameras here have these features. Log is best for being able to color grade or add LUTs to your footage in post-production, so lacking log can be a bit of a downside to the Ace Pro. Now brand new on the Action 5 is the ability to enable color recovery when shooting in log so that the display is color graded rather than faded and lacking color. But the output is still flat, so you will still need to color grade that footage in post-production. Now in terms of built-in stabilization, all 4 action cameras look pretty stable when going at a hard run without a gimbal. But I'd say that the Ace Pro has the least stable footage of them all, even when shooting in high stabilization mode. All 4 of these action cameras can also shoot in up to 4K 120 frames per second slow motion, and I would say that the GoPro and the Action 5 have the better image quality. Brand new on the Action 5 is the ability to shoot in 4K 120 frames per second in the 4:3 aspect ratio, which none of the other action cameras here can do. For 240 frames per second super slow motion, only the GoPro can shoot in a high resolution of 2.7K. The rest are capped at 1080p, and once again, I think that GoPro comes out on top with the better image quality. Also brand new in the Hero 13 is the new burst slow motion mode, where you can shoot in up to 5K 120 frames per second, or ultra slow motion 400 or 360 frames per second. But it does come at the cost of shooting at lower intervals and in lower resolution.
The Osmo Action 5 Pro also offers up to 960 frames per second slow motion video, but unlike the GoPro, the super slow motion footage is processed in camera and can take a bit of time to generate, but the effect can be pretty cool.
All 4 cameras have the ability to choose in-camera fields of view, or FOVs, ranging from a linear or standard D-warp view that appears the most natural, to an ultra-wide FOV. The GoPro by far has the widest field of view in hyperview mode, although it does distort the sides quite a bit, as do the rest of these cameras. The Hero 13 can also get ultra-wide hyperview when shooting with the new ultra-wide lens mod. More on this later. Now, while action cameras are great at shooting ultra-wide, they're generally not great for zoomed-in shots.
All of these cameras can do a minimal zoom in camera, and the Ace Pro's is arguably the sharpest, as it is zooming in on an 8K sensor. But I personally don't use these cameras for their zoom features.
These cameras also are not great for shooting macro or close-up shots. But the Hero 13 Black can be used with the all-new GoPro macro lens mod, which has a manual focus ring, so you can shoot with everything in focus as usual, or twist the focus ring to focus up to 4.3 inches from a subject. Now while the new lens is neat, it costs extra money, and it also adds a layer of complexity to using the camera, because then you have to pay attention to make sure your shot is in focus, so it's not quite a point-and-shoot camera anymore. Now on to low-light shooting, which is something that action cameras have been notoriously not so great at in the past. The DJI Osmo Action 5 is definitely benefiting from that new sensor, being able to produce an overall brighter image compared to the Action 4, putting it on par with the Ace Pro, which has been the recent king of action camera low-light shooting. GoPro still comes in last place, with an overall darker and muddier image compared to the rest. Now, handheld stabilization in low light is also respectably good on the Action 5 and the Ace Pro. There is a bit of shake and wobble, but considering I'm not using a gimbal and I'm shooting in low light, this looks pretty decent. But keep in mind that I was shooting about 20 to 30 minutes after sunset during blue hour in a fairly well-lit city environment. Shooting any darker than that in, say, pitch black conditions makes all of these cameras struggle. So don't expect these cameras to be miracle workers in every low-light situation. Next up is an audio test using the built-in microphones for each camera. Now, brand new in the Hero 13 is the option to choose between standard and voice audio tuning. So let's hear the difference between those two modes as well. This is an audio test of 4 action cameras outdoors in semi-windy conditions. This is what it sounds like. This is an audio test of 4 action cameras outdoors in semi-windy conditions. This is what it sounds like. This is an audio test of 4 action cameras outdoors in semi-windy conditions. This is what it sounds like. This is an audio test of 4 action cameras outdoors in semi-windy conditions. This is what it sounds like. This is an audio test of 4 action cameras outside where there's a light breeze going by. The Hero 13 is now in voice mode. None of these cameras have a built-in 3.5mm microphone jack for attaching an external microphone, but GoPro does let you add one by using the GoPro Media mod, which also has built-in microphones. And this is an audio test with the GoPro Hero 13 Black inside of the GoPro Media mod. This is the Media mod that also works with the Hero 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that accessory does work with the Hero 13 Black. All of these cameras also have the ability to connect to a wireless Bluetooth microphone, like the DJI Mic 2 transmitter. But the Action 5 is the only one that will let you connect 2 transmitters at once, and the only one besides the Action 4 that allows for simultaneous internal recording. This is an audio test of the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro with the DJI Mic 2 wirelessly connected via Bluetooth. This is what it sounds like recording directly in camera. And this is what it sounds like using the built-in internal recording, which can only be activated if you're connecting to a DJI product. So it doesn't work on the Ace Pro or the GoPro. This is an audio test of the DJI Osmo Action 4 with the DJI Mic 2 connected wirelessly via Bluetooth. This is what it sounds like recording directly in camera. And this is what it sounds like using the built-in internal recording that is recorded directly to the transmitter. This is an audio test of the DJI Mic 2 connected wirelessly via Bluetooth to the GoPro Hero 13 Black. This is what it sounds like. This is an audio test of the DJI Mic 2 microphone connected wirelessly via Bluetooth to the Insta360 Ace Pro. This is what it sounds like. So image and audio quality are obviously the main comparison points for all of these action cameras. But each camera also has other unique features worth mentioning. Starting with the GoPro Hero 13 Black, this seems to be a catch-up model for the GoPro, as they added features like the ability to extend recording in quick capture mode and the magnetic quick release, all of which are features that the DJI and the Insta360 already had on their action cameras. What's great about the GoPro magnetic release is that it attaches to the camera in either direction, while the other cameras have to be facing in specific directions to attach properly. Also, the bottom of the GoPro features not only the magnetic quick release mount, but also a 1/4-20 hole and the GoPro folding fingers. The other cameras only have the magnetic mount. So you'd have to attach it to yet another mount to get the folding fingers or the 1/4-20 hole. The Hero 13 is also the only action camera here with built-in GPS, which was taken out of the Hero 12, but is present on most if not every GoPro other than the Hero 12. And perhaps the most notable part of the Hero 13 release were the accompanying interchangeable lenses, the ultra-wide, the macro, and the anamorphic. Also the ND filters, all of which have auto-detect, so the camera settings are automatically adjusted when the lenses or the filters are attached. This is a really unique proposition that DJI and Insta360 are not yet offering on their action cameras. However, these new lenses and the filters, and also the new Hero 13 battery, are not backwards compatible, which is a major bummer. and it makes me really wary about investing in future GoPro products. Next up, let's talk about the newest camera here, the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro. This camera does offer several unique features that no other action camera has, including the Action 4. So first of all is my favorite feature, which is built-in storage. So you don't need to use a memory card with this camera. This feature has already saved me several times when I've run out of memory card space on the go. Insta360 and GoPro don't have this feature, although GoPro does offer auto-uploading to the GoPro cloud, which is also a unique feature that I take very liberal advantage of. But built-in camera storage is something I'd love to see in other cameras. The Action 5 also lets you connect two DJI Mic 2 transmitters at once via Bluetooth. Check out the audio samples in the audio section. And it's also the only action camera with a built-in pressure gauge that can detect and display depth and altitude, plus automatically start and stop recording when the camera enters water. The Action 5 also has a new subject tracking mode, which automatically crops the video to always keep the subject in the center of the video. And finally, thanks to a new processor and battery, the Action 5 has by far the best battery life of any of these action cameras. In my tests, it never once overheated. Only the GoPro did once. And it ran on average for at least 2.5 hours continuously when shooting in 4K 30 frames per second using the new DJI Osmo Action 5 battery. Now the battery is also backwards compatible, unlike the new GoPro Hero 13 battery.
My only occasional gripe with the Action 5 Pro is the image quality. The dynamic range has definitely improved over the Action 4, especially in low lighting. But in bright lighting, the normal color mode in the Action 5 often looks like it has HDR applied, even when it's not shooting in its new HLG HDR mode. So I wish there was a way to get the more natural looking colors and lighting balance that we saw in the Action 4.
Finally, there's the Insta360 Ace Pro, the first generation action camera from Insta360. Now, despite its name, this is not a 360 camera, and it is also the biggest and heaviest of these action cameras. But it is the only camera here with a flip screen, which is helpful for getting creative angles, and also for giving you the largest selfie screen. It can shoot in up to 8K resolution, which is by far the highest resolution of all of these cameras, but the file size is rather large. So I don't recommend shooting in 8K unless you have a really good reason to do that. Now with that said, the Ace Pro is the only action camera here that's lacking 10-bit and log recording, so it may fall short for some of you needing more professional level features.
But even when shooting in 8-bit normal color, the Ace Pro image quality is pretty comparable to the others, especially in low lighting. Although I think the new king of low light shooting goes to the DJI Action 5, but the Ace Pro is still the queen.
The Ace Pro is also the only camera here that lets you choose between matrix and face priority metering, the latter of which is helpful for keeping a face properly exposed in bright or contrasting lighting conditions. The rest of my favorite Ace Pro features are little usability features, such as the ability to pause and cancel recording in camera and use hand gestures to control the camera from afar.
But there are rumors of a new Ace Pro 2 coming out soon, so stay tuned for more reviews and comparisons when that camera is out.
So which of these is the best action camera right now? I still think there's no perfect action camera, and each of these cameras has a feature or two that I wish the others had. GoPro is the only way to go if you really value having interchangeable lenses. I would not be surprised to see more of these come out one day, perhaps a telephoto lens. But with their track record, I really have to wonder if those lenses will be backwards compatible. Meanwhile, the Ace Pro has that nice flip screen and the gesture controls and the pause and cancel recording features, as well as some AI features that I'd like to see on these other cameras. But for me, the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro is the action camera that I am the most impressed with right now. It's a clear upgrade from the Action 4 in terms of image quality, especially in low lighting. But I do find that the normal video mode is a bit heavy-handed with HDR-like effects. So that's the one thing that I wish could be toned down in this camera. But other than that, I love the new subject tracking feature, the extended battery life, the ability to connect two DJI Mic 2s at once, and my absolute favorite feature, the built-in storage. So for all of these reasons, the Action 5 is my personal pick. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. So that's all I have for you for now, but I will be having a best settings guide come out for the Action 5 as well as the Hero 13 Black. I already have settings videos out for the Ace Pro and the Action 4, as well as the Hero 11, and I have some comparison videos as well, plus accessory videos on the way. So check out the links below for those videos whenever they are live. And let me know in the comments if there are any other topics or video ideas that you have. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.